Hi, everybody. Hello. Hello. Come on in. Welcome, guys, to the month of August inside of the Wild Child Garden Club. Hello. Hi, guys. Come on in. Welcome, everyone. Hello. Hello. Tell me in the chat, do you have a garden goal? If so, tell us your grow, gather, give statement in the chat. Remember, our grow, gather, give statements, it's just this. I'm going to grow this so that I can this in order to this. So tell us in the chat your grow, gather, give statement if you have one. I cannot wait to hear what some of you have dreamed up because this entire month we are going to work to make our gardens as ready as we possibly can to make those goals possible. This is the month that it all begins. The dream, the goal, that is just step one. Now we have to make this happen. And so we want to make sure before we get started with anything else that we have our garden goal. That is so important, guys. We need to have the goal. We need to know exactly what we're going to be doing so that we can take that goal and then begin to work in our gardens, begin to prepare our gardens, our hearts, our schedules to have what we want in this season. So I am so excited, y'all. Scouts tearing stuff up as usual. I am so excited to be here with you to start this season, to start this month with you because this is the first month of the cool season. Do you have your journals? Everybody should have their journal. If you ordered last week, it is on its way to you. Here she is. She is so beautiful. I absolutely love this lady. I use her all the time. So if you have not already ordered your journal, you can do that here. I'm going to copy the link for you and put it in our chat here because you want to get this lovely lady, because you want to start using her as fast as you can. Now, I know some of you like to download it, and it is available for you in the resources in your garden club library. Yes, Tammy, it is the best journal ever. Yes, yes. Aslan said, wanting to grow cabbages to harvest all season and really want to be successful with potatoes and carrots to make so that she can make potato soup with her homegrown veggies. I love it. I'm going back up to see what y'all are writing. Missy says, I am going to grow celery to dehydrate it and make homemade Trinity to gift and use. Yes, 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 Missy. What a fantastic goal. Kathy says, I'm going to grow lettuce and beets and carrots and radishes so I can serve fresh veggies to friends and family in the garden. Yes, I love it. Miss Nancy wants to grow more foods to ferment and fix and freeze. And I know her why, because she wants to share those with her family. She said her family loves whenever she gifts stuff from her garden, whenever they can go shopping. Who wouldn't? In Miss Nancy's freezer. Love it. Love it. Sammy, your garden goal, your grow, gather, give statement is I want to grow blank so that I can harvest blank in order to blank. And that statement, y'all, you've got to flesh that whole thing out. You do not want to stop at I want to grow broccoli, because you are going to be sadly disappointed when you get to the end of the season, because growing broccoli is fantastic, of course, but it is not the same as I want to grow broccoli so that I can harvest it on Thanksgiving Day in order to serve my family broccoli soup. Just made that up on the fly. But you get what I'm saying. I'm going to put the Grow, Gather, Give statement on your screen for you. so that you can see it, guys. Because this statement should drive and direct every single thing you are doing this season. Now, is it going to be the only thing we do this season? Of course not. We are going to think of new things as the season goes on. We're going to grow lots of other things outside of this goal. But I can tell you, this goal is going to be what gets you to the end of January and makes you feel like $1,000,000. That's this goal right here. Your grow, gather, give statement should lead you through every piece and part of what you do this season. So ask yourself, I want to grow blank so that I can blank in order to blank. This is the most important statement of your entire season because it's your roadmap. And if you just say, I'm going to grow cabbage, then when it's cold outside and you don't want to have to water, or whenever it's whatever it is and you don't want to have to get out there, you're not going to be motivated. This goal is what gets you motivated. Becky said, I'm going to grow carrots and conquer this failure of many years so that I can make carrot souffle for my daughters to reminisce of their memories of Piccadilly. Yes, I love that. There is nothing like a Piccadilly carrot souffle except one made by Mama. So I can tell you right now, that's a fantastic goal. Monica says, I'm going to grow pumpkin on a stick for the first time to decorate with in the fall for family gatherings and to share with my friends and family for their fall decorating as well. Yes, I love it. I love it. Look at you. I am going to grow cabbage so that I can serve cabbage and black-eyed peas to my family on New Year's Day so that we can start this new to us tradition. Carla, yes. Oh my goodness. I love it because listen, that new to you tradition is going to get carried on from your grandkids and your great-grandkids. And I said this to my sister who she came in town for a really quick visit on Monday. And I said to her, she said, are you going to have Thanksgiving at your house again? And I said, yes. And she said, okay, I'm just asking. And I said, because I want Ruby, my little niece, I want her to be off at college somewhere. And I want her to say to her roommates as they're sitting in their apartment, I want her to say, I don't know. I mean, are y'all going to go home for Thanksgiving? And they say, I mean, my family doesn't really do Thanksgiving. I haven't been home in years. I don't really know. I haven't talked to my mom. And Ruby can say, well, I haven't talked to my Aunt Kelly this season either. But, you know, I just know that my Kiki is having Thanksgiving at her house. Let's get on a plane and go to my Kiki's house. Yes. Yes, I'm having Thanksgiving at my house. Yes. Not for me, but for those little bitty ones who come every single year to have these memories. Y'all, I can visualize little trinkets that my mama's sister, my Aunt Betty, had. And if y'all don't know this story, you know, my name has a Y-E, which is really odd. But all of the names on that side of the family have the Y-E. So my Aunt Betty was Bettye. And so we would go to my Aunt Betty's house, and she had all these little trinkets, and I can remember them. And I ask people in my family about them. Nobody remembers them but me, but I can remember sitting there just mesmerized by her trinkets. Yeah, I'm having Thanksgiving here. Yeah, you're growing that New Year's Day cabbage, Carla. Yeah, you sure are. Becky said, I also want to grow Brussels sprouts like my grandfather planted for me as a teenager. I lost my grandpa when I was 15, and he was my garden coach. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. Amber says, I want to grow broccoli and bok choy so that we can make our favorite stir fry. I love it, Amber. Love it. Shawna said, I'm growing to share lots of vegetables and greens with my senior citizen friends who used to farm and aren't able to garden anymore. Also, I'm taking the carrot cake goal for my 7-year-old son. Yes, he has been a carrot farmer, but we never had a goal to do the cake. I love it. Love it. Kathleen wants to grow the carrots and beets to make baby food for her new granddaughter. Y'all, this is what we're talking about. This is why we are going out to that garden in the middle of August. This is it. Sammy says, I want to grow carrots so I can harvest them the week of Christmas to make a carrot cake for Jesus' birthday with my kids. Yes. Yes. Amber wants to grow carrots so that she can make a carrot cake for her mom's birthday in April. Yes. Brooke wants to grow purple whole peas and cabbage for my mother-in-law's New Year's Day egg rolls. Second goal is growing heirloom sun golds to harvest the seeds to share with garden friends. Yeah, y'all, because guess what? There is a sun gold heirloom. You just can't get it anymore. But guess who has the seeds? Brooke. What a goal. What a goal. Miss Denise says, I want to grow cabbage and black-eyed peas to serve my family New Year's Day dinner from my garden and not have to worry about a food recall at the last minute. Yes. Yes. Love it. Brandy says 1999 Piccadilly. Brandy, is there anything on earth like a 1999 Piccadilly? No. Maybe a 1987 Piccadilly, but that is so good. I love the Piccadilly goal, Becky. Leanne said, I want to grow a variety of vegetables so I can create an environment that reminds my mama of her childhood. She has dementia and talks about my grandfather's garden a lot. Leanne, wow, what a goal. What a goal. That is not the same as I want to grow lettuce. This right here, y'all, is why we do what we do. This is why. And our whys may look different. Our whys may look different. We all have different pasts. We all have different journeys. We all have different ideas and dreams. We're all wired differently, but we all want the same thing. And that is to grow something that matters. Y'all, you can get these vegetables off the side of the road at a farmer's market, and sometimes, if we're lucky, at the grocery store. It's not about the vegetables. The vegetables are just what we do to get us where we want to go. And when you allow yourself to dream, when you allow yourself to set this goal, then you've got a destination. Now you know where you want to go. Get in the car. We ride at dawn. Right? Cynthia said, I started a bunny garden and my grandson is still talking about it. He was walking around the garden last night planning where he wants to plant his bunny garden flowers. Yes. Yes. I love it. I love it. Yes, Carla, I am Kiki. I'm Kiki to my niece, to all the dogs, to Scout. I'm Kiki. And I don't think I'm going to be able to outgrow it. You know, that wasn't my dream name for my grandkids, but I'm pretty certain I know my fate. And I'll take it because, listen, I'll answer to anything to those babies. Susan says, I want to garden for beauty and the joy it brings me. Plus, I get to feed my family great food and share with the whole experience with my granddaughters. Yes, yes, yes. Y'all, I love it. It is so important that we do this. If you are reading these goals right now and you are like, I don't have a goal. My goal doesn't feel like these goals feel. Keep working. Keep asking yourself, what else? Keep asking yourself, why? When you write it down and it doesn't just light you on fire, say to yourself, okay, why? And then write that down. And if that doesn't light you on fire, say to yourself again, why? You're going to eventually get down to it, and it's going to be something deep down inside of you that you didn't even realize was in there. And when it comes out, it is like you are releasing the fire from your belly. And the world will be changed because of it. The world will absolutely be changed because of it. Monica says, I want to grow carrots, celery, beans, and peas to harvest and swap with my neighbors, fresh milk, and chickens to make a 100% all natural chicken pot pie with my freshly meal grained topping. Yes. Oh my goodness. And then you need to have a dinner, Monica. You need to put it on your calendar and have a dinner and invite those neighbors over for chicken pot pie, or light some candles and put them on the table for you and your husband to eat that chicken pot pie. Yes, yes, yes. Love it. Love it, guys. It is why we do what we do. So today, we're going to dip our toe into the month of August. And I want you to realize that this is the month that matters the most. If you don't get it right in the month of August, you're going to start September with a handicap. If you don't get this right, guys, you are going to be playing catch up, and you are going to inadvertently find yourself in the circus for the entire season. I don't want that for you, and I don't want that for me. So know this. When I'm talking to us today, I am not talking to you. I am talking to us. I am telling myself the exact same things that I am telling you, because I am just like you. I am going to get busy. I am going to find other things that need me. I am going to end up other places. I need this garden goal to keep my face pointed towards my destination. It is the North Star. It is our compass. And so when life gets busy, we have this journal that we can turn to. When we come to journal night, which by the way is tomorrow, I'm going to put the calendar on the screen for you so that you can see our calendar for this month. If you haven't already downloaded it, tell me in the chat what you're most excited about for this month. If you haven't already downloaded your calendar, we have journal night tomorrow night. I'm going to be there at 7 o'clock. I am. And we are going to take these journals and we're going to start working. We're going to keep going into our garden goal. We're going to see, what do we have to do in August to start out our trek to our January garden self? What needs to happen? We're going to dig into that, and we're going to put it on our calendar. We do it together every month in journal night. And then we are going to work on feeding our gardens, and we're going to reset our gardens if we need to, because sometimes we don't think we need a reset in June. Doesn't feel like we need a reset in June. Doesn't feel like we need a reset in July. But by August, we're like, whoa, we need a reset. And then the overwhelm starts coming, right? Because we only have so much time. And shoot, we didn't solarize. And what can we do? I'm going to tell you what you can do next week. Next week, we are going to reset our gardens. We're going to feed our gardens for the first time in the cool season. And I'm going to give you lots of other things you can do in your garden to get it where you want it to be to start this new season. And then on the 16th, we are going to start our seeds together inside of Success with Seeds. If you have not already joined us in Success with Seeds, you can absolutely come and join us right now inside of that Facebook group, where we are working on getting supplies and we are getting our seeds. We're getting everything sort of set up so that we can be ready to go on the 16th. And remember this, guys. Your seeds are going to take a minute to get here. You're going to need some time to set up. Do not wait until the last minute. Come over and join us in Success with Seeds, where we are just setting up our garden stations, our seed starting stations. We're getting our supplies. We're talking about seeds. This is where it all begins, right? And then after we start our seeds, we may even gamble a little in that third week of August. And so if you're a garden gambler, you may already have the t-shirt. I have the t-shirt and I wear it all the time because I absolutely love it so much. But the Garden Gambler t-shirt has been added back, restocked to the shop. And you can get your t-shirt, your Garden Gambler t-shirt. You can get a Grow, Gather, Give t-shirt. You can get Soil Booster. You can get a Men Blend. You can get one of the last few of these journals if you haven't already, right here at wildchildgardengoods.com. Head over there and grab your stuff for the season. Before you ask, I already know you want to know if I'm going to have Soil Booster for the plant sale. Yes. Am I going to have a Men Blends for the plant sale? Yes, I sure am. And that plant sale is on September 12th. So after we start our seeds and we have everything up and going inside of our seed starting station, we may start gambling just a little bit in our gardens that week. We have our heirloom coaching, and then our final week is we prepare to plant. In our final week, we are going to take things out. We are going to say goodbye to our garden. We are going to thank our garden. We are going to begin the process of preparing to plant for that cool season garden. And then we are going to have canning with Jenna on the 29th of August. We are going to do that virtually, but she is going to show us how to use this pressure canner. We are going to can up some stuff. Her and I are going to talk about that and get a plan. We are going to do some canning together. And then on the 30th, after we have harvested everything out of our gardens that we know are coming out, after we have preserved everything we can possibly preserve, we're going to plan that cool season garden. We're going to meet together on Zoom, and we are going to sit down, and we are going to plan our gardens together. We are going to decide what we're planting where, how many of what we need, how we're going to make the most out of the season. And listen, you're going to be blown away. I already have 5 beds created. You are going to be blown away. And of course, our goal for the plant sale is that we will be having everything you need to make your garden goal come to life at the plant sale. You will not have to leave the plant sale and go run around town. That is our goal. This is an exciting month, guys. It is a fantastic month. And I can tell you, you don't want to miss this month. You don't want to be someone who says, shoot. How many times have we done that? How many times have you done that? How many times have you gotten to the end of the month and looked back on your month and looked back in your garden journal and said to yourself, I just really wish I would have just done what I said I was going to do? Y'all, I have done that so many times. So many times. I have made all the plans. I have made all the goals. I have dreamed all the dreams. I can see myself as clear as day. And I have not followed through. And so then I am just like everybody else at the end of the season. When that is what happens, you find yourself so very disappointed. Because now all of a sudden, the broccoli means nothing. The cabbage, you don't even care. How many times have you done that? How many times have you left things in the garden that you didn't even pick because of the fact that you just didn't care? You were removed. Life starts lifing. Things start happening. You can't keep up even if you tried. This is it, y'all. Yes, Sammy. Me too, girl. Me too. This is where it all starts. Listen, maybe that was even you this past season. I know it wasn't Sammy this past season because she has worked her rear end off this season. But maybe it was you. Maybe this season you found yourself just didn't go the way you wanted it to. Maybe you were like, I had all the goals and dreams in that cute, adorable little pink garden journal. Where is she? She's around here somewhere. That cute little pink garden journal that we had last season. You had all your hopes and dreams in that garden journal. And somewhere around October, things just went downhill. And all of a sudden, you look up and you didn't plant that cabbage like you said you were going to. You didn't plant that broccoli. You didn't know that those plants needed to have frost in order to produce. So you said to yourself, it's okay, I'm a little late, but I'm going to plant it anyway. And then you waited all season, never got a broccoli, never got a cabbage. Stopped going out to your garden. Couldn't bring yourself to care. I think if we're being honest, we've all been there. We've all done that. But guess what the month of August is? The month of August is a fresh start. I don't know if you have seen the updated website, but I updated the website just a little. It still looks pretty much the same, but I did update it just a little. And if you look, this is on there. And it says, one beautiful journey where gardeners are grown. And every month I'm updating this. And if you go right now and you look, you see that we're right here. It says, we're here. Come and join us. Here we are. This is the fresh start. This is it. This is where the slate is wiped clean. This is where we are able to say, I'm back, right? I've been telling y'all all last season, I feel like I'm finally back. Mary Ann, if that is you right now, girl, you're in the right place, because guess what? Guess what, Brandy? The garden is so ready to welcome you back. We all do this, right? We all do this. And 9 times out of 10, it's not because we really don't care. It's not because we're really over it. It's not because all of the sudden we don't want to grow a garden anymore. In fact, it's the opposite. We want it more than anything. But we have somehow, some way gotten off track. We stopped using our journals. We stopped coming to coaching. We don't get in the Facebook group. We don't really print the calendar. We don't really know what's going on. We feel left out. We're a little bit behind. This is the clean slate for all of us. I'm back. Sammy's back. You're back. We are back. And this season is the one that's going to make the difference for us. I believe it. Last month, we dreamed. Now, we're planting the seeds. We're getting ready to grow. We're building the new garden for a new season. This is where we are. We are right here. And this is that clean slate that you have been needing, that you have been waiting on. It's here. Take advantage of it. Get to journal night tomorrow night. Because I'm going to tell you why I harp on this as much as I do. It's because we don't know what we don't know. And I'm not trying to get sappy, but it's the truth. And that has been a steady reminder season after season ever since this garden club started in 2020. In 2020, when we started, we had no idea that 2 weeks after we all said, yes, we want to grow gardens, that the world was going to shut down. We did not know what was to come. And it seems that every season we experience this. And every season we are so grateful when we accomplish our goals, because we can't even imagine what they're going to mean to us in January right now. And that's hard to think about. And that's hard to consider. And so often we can't see it. We can't wrap our head around it. But when we get to the other side, that is how it ends up. It's bigger than we ever imagined. It's more important than we could have ever known. It matters more the day you accomplish your goal than it will ever matter the day you set it. It matters so much to me because of your garden goal showcases. When you put in your entries this season, if you have not gone back and read those, go back and read those. I'm so excited to congratulate Shelby as our winner of the Warm Season Garden Goal Showcase for the most inspiring garden goal. And I promise you this, Shelby's goal was to grow a garden for her grandpa. He was sick. She knew it. You read her story. You voted on her. She won. She wanted her grandpa to spend his final days enjoying and eating from her garden. And she worked towards that goal all season. And y'all, she did it. She did it. She gave him those vegetables. She gave him her garden to experience. And y'all, he's not with us anymore. He is no longer with Shelby. Imagine if she would have said maybe next year. These things matter. What if she would have just waited another year? Shelby has this memory, this gift that she gave her grandpa, this gift that she gave to herself, this experience in her garden that, let me tell you something, she is never going to not feel him in her garden, ever, because of what she chose as her goal, and because she sat down with her garden journal and she worked that goal week after week and month after month. Yes, Shelby, she said he got one more season of Cherokee purple tomatoes. And now every single year when Shelby plants those Cherokee purple tomatoes, she's going to see him in her garden with her. That's right. We think, y'all, in August, we think, and this is the hardest thing to get through to people who are not in this community. It is next to impossible to explain this to someone. It's next to impossible. Because we think that we're growing vegetables. We think we're growing vegetables. But we're not. We're growing moments, memories, relationships, connections. We're growing so much more than vegetables. But we don't always see it that way. I'm telling you guys. And Shelby knows this just as well as anybody because she will tell you. Her and I talk all the time and she will tell you. She's been in the academy for several seasons, been in Success with Seeds for several seasons. This was her season this past summer. This was her season. And she texted me and said, I'm coming to Success with Seeds. I'm doing it. This is it. I'm doing it. And she did. This is the clean slate, guys. She did it. She will carry that with her forever. But listen, the garden waits for no one. The garden has its timeline, whether we follow it or not. We can postpone lots of things, y'all, but we cannot postpone the garden. If we wait to do this in September, if we say to ourselves, well, August is busy. The kids are going back to school, so I'll pick it up in September. Well, listen what's going to happen. The soil is significantly cooler in September. Do you know what that means? You cannot build a microbial population like you can in August. If you're seeing struggles in your garden right now, if you've got root knot nematodes, I've got a whole protocol for us next week that we're going to all do if we've got that in our gardens. And I'm even going to ask you to pull up a plant that is not looking like you want it to look to check and see if you've got them. because this protocol is going to get us through the next season to where we can get through to the next season, because they slow down so much in the winter that you can't do anything about them in the winter. And then you're right back here again. That treatment, this protocol, loses so much valuable time if you don't start it until September. Seed starting, windows closed. We're starting seeds on August 16th. The window's closed in September for seed starting. You start to have to react if you wait. It becomes way more reactive, way less intentional, and you know how I feel about reactive gardening. You know how I feel about that. And most importantly, the worst of it all, what absolutely breaks my heart, is that we miss the opportunities. We miss it all. Because we said, it's too hot, I'm too busy, I'll do it later. No, you won't. No, you won't. August is where you are right now today, and it's where this garden begins. Everything we dreamed about during Grow, Gather, Give, everything, those dinners, everything you put in the chat, that carrot souffle, everything, the salsa, the bouquets, the New Year's Day cabbage, all of it, the Christmas gifts we made at Christmas in July, being in the garden with our grandchildren, gifting things to family and friends and neighbors. None of that, y'all, none of it. And listen, I'm talking to myself. None of that happens by accident. None of it. It all begins right now today. We dreamed in July. We planned on August 2nd during Grow, Gather, Give. Now it's time to build our soil, choose the right plants, plant at the right time, care for them so that we can harvest them, so that we can get on about the business of letting this garden make impossible things possible for us. The vegetables are the vehicle we're using to take us to our destination. And that's what we're going to do this month. This week, we're working on clarifying our garden goals. We're refining them. We're wanting to make sure we know our obstacles. We got to build the roadmap. We're going to work on that tomorrow night in journal night. We need to know what success actually looks like, because you cannot be vague. Vague goals leave you stranded. And we're on a journey. We can't be stranded. Once we know our goal, we have it written in stone, we're going to build the foundation. Healthy soil first, always. You're not going anywhere unless you put gas in the car. So we are going to start with our soil, the most important thing. We're going to feed our soil. We're going to reset our soil. We're going to add our compost. We're going to do our root knot nematode reset if we need to. We're going to get out our tired plants, clean things up, add our soil booster. We are going to prepare the healthiest soil possible in the month of August while it's still hot and the soil can still work. Then we're going to design our gardens around our goals. We're going to start seeds. We're going to gamble a little. We're going to ask questions like, what do I actually want to harvest? How much of that do I need? Who am I growing for? And then we're going to plan it all in our planning session. All of this work, all of this preparation is coming down to August 30th. We're going to work in our journals. We're going to gather up our seed catalogs. We're going to plant our seeds. We're going to make our maps. We're going to know exactly what we're doing. And then we're going to plan it all. We're going to decide where everything is going. Most gardeners look up in September and say, or October, or sometimes November in South Louisiana, and say to themselves, well, you know, it's nice and cool outside. I think I'm going to plant a garden. And the most heartbreaking part is it's too late. You're starting in August with healthy soil, successful seeds, your must-grow list, a planting calendar. You know exactly when you're planting, what you're doing, a plan for your space, a goal that's clearly defined. That is what we're doing this month. And I want to inspire you today by sharing my garden goal with you. So if you're looking back at your garden goal and you're thinking to yourself, I don't know if this is going to happen. I want to share one thing with you, which is that if you tell yourself that you don't know whether or not this is going to happen, you're almost guaranteeing that it's not. Because your brain is always looking for ways to prove you right. So if you start this season by looking at your garden goal and thinking, probably not going to happen, then you're almost assuring yourself that it isn't. But what's the worst case scenario? What's the worst case scenario? If you set a ginormous garden goal that you get so excited for, that you are in your garden because of, that lights your soul on fire, and at the very last minute you have to take down all your pumpkins off that arch for Thanksgiving dinner. What's the very worst thing that can happen? You lose the pumpkins on the arch and they end up on the table instead? Okay. I want you to understand that if you decide today that it's probably not going to happen, it's probably not. And if you decide today that there's no chance it's not going to happen and it doesn't, your disappointment will be tiny. But your growth and your joy and your peace in getting to the destination is going to be worth it all. So dream big. Sammy said, I'm going to be honest, I love my goal and I'm going to do it because I love baking, but I'm still dreaming. I'm still looking for the it garden goal. Keep going, Sammy. Keep dreaming. Keep dreaming because you want that it garden goal. If you're feeling like your garden goal is just meh, you're never going to care. And of course, you're going to bake that carrot cake. Of course, you love to bake. You're an amazing baker. If anybody's ever had Sammy's cakes or brownies, you know. Of course, you're going to get that carrot cake. But if it doesn't light your soul on fire, you keep going. You keep dreaming. Keep gifting yourself 20 minutes in an afternoon. It is so worth it. So I want to share my garden goal with you so that you can kind of see what I mean when I say that you think about, is this actually going to happen? And it would be really easy for me to say to myself, it's not. It probably won't. Because I have evidence stacked up to the ceiling to prove that 9 times out of 10, I'm not too good at holding myself accountable. I'm not great at keeping my word to myself. But if I can make this garden goal happen, then I'm going to show myself that I am good at keeping my word to myself. And I also think that the pumpkins showed me so much last year. I planted on time. I had the right varieties. I had the right soil. They were right in my face, so I was able to tend to them all the time. I killed squash bug eggs almost every day. And look, I jumped up out that bed and out to the garden I went because I knew that a squash bug or a squash vine borer was going to take me out. I had purpose and I accomplished my goal, even though I had to take down all of my pumpkins. My goal was to have Thanksgiving dinner under my pumpkins. And right before Thanksgiving, we had to take them all out because of a freeze. But we still had Thanksgiving. We were just surrounded by pumpkins instead of being under them. Your goals can change. But if you sit out and tell yourself, I'm not going to do that goal because more than likely it's going to be cold on Thanksgiving and we're not going to get to do it anyway, then you probably won't. This goal I'm setting for myself is the biggest goal I have ever set for myself. It's also the most meaningful goal I've ever set for myself. So I'm calling this my most meaningful garden ever, because that is what I want in this season. So as you know, Carson is getting married in May, and it is dawning on me every single thing we go do is like our last. Do you see what I mean? Like every single thing we go do, it's like, well, this is the last time we're going to come to the lake, like all in the same car. Like next summer, when we go to the lake, I'm going to be calling Carson and saying, hey, we're going to the lake next weekend if y'all want to ride up. That is mind-blowing if you think about it. And so as I'm noticing all of these, this is more than likely going to be the last of this and the last of that. I am really seeking to make it the most meaningful season it can possibly be. And so my garden goal for this season is to grow so much beauty in my garden that her and I, because we're both the same, we're both beauty chasers. We want to be where it's pretty. So I want both of us to have so much beauty, so much to look at, so much out there for us that we're out there together more than we have ever been. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to tell you my details. And then I want to cook with her from the garden once a week. Something that I grew, something that we have grown, so that I can teach her how to cook from the garden. And I'm going to gift her a cookbook of all of the garden to table recipes that she eats all the time in my kitchen that she can take to her house. Because look, the very first thing she said looking at when she's looking at a house is, where's her garden going to go? And I want her garden to be a place that she feels confident in. I want it to be a place that's beautiful. I want her to enjoy it. I want her to cook from it. I want her to have all the tools she needs to be able to do that. So I want to grow as much as I possibly can in my garden so that Carson and I can cook from the garden every week in order for me to put those recipes in a cookbook for her that I'm going to gift her at the end of the season. Now, there is lots of pieces and parts to this, right? In the planning, in what I'm growing, in what I'm cooking, in how this is all going to work out. There are so many pieces and parts to this. And I want it bad enough to get out this journal and schedule my life around my garden. That's going to be hard. That's going to be hard to do. But I know that it is going to be something that will be at the end of January, my most meaningful garden season ever. Brooke said, I love this so much more than the canceling of the fall garden for wedding flowers. Yeah. That was my other idea. And it is going to be so special. It is going to be so magical. And it is going to be so meaningful. Why? Because I'm deciding right now today that it is. And guess what, y'all? What if we only cook from the garden for 36 weeks instead of 52? What if we only cook for 10 weeks? Did I lose? Absolutely not. Because I am having opportunity. I am creating opportunity. Right now, in the month of August, I am creating opportunity for myself, for my daughter, for our relationship. And if I don't sit down and do this in the month of August, I will not have those opportunities because I will be too late. And you find that if you don't do it at the right time, then what happens is life goes, right? The garden starts growing. The nursery has plants. You go, you buy, you come back, you plant. You have no rhyme or reason to anything that you're doing. And so instead of creating the opportunities, you're missing opportunities. I don't want that for me, and I don't want that for you. And I don't want it for my kids, and I don't want it for your kids, and I don't want it for your neighbors, and I don't want it for your family, because guess what? This world needs you. It needs you. It needs your dreams. It needs your garden. So my question to you as we close up today is this. If this dream of yours, if this dream that you have written down in your journal, or that you're too scared to write down in your journal, or that you've put in your journal on a sticky note, just in case, I've done that plenty of times, or this goal that just you can't get your finger on right now, right? I've got a question for you about it. If this dream is going to become a reality, what has to be true first? If this dream is going to become a reality, what has to be true first? You don't have to answer that in a minute. Just start thinking about that. We have so much time because guess what? It's August 5th. We're doing things early. We're doing things in the right order. We have so much time. And over the next 4 weeks, we're going to answer this question together. What has to be true first? That's important to know. Just like when we're picking our goal, we have to say all the things that we're not going to do. All the things that we don't want to grow. Because they're in the way of the yes. They're in the way of what we really want. So if this big dream of yours is going to come true, what has to be true first? For me, it is my time management. I will get on the computer and look up and it has been 5 hours. I don't want that to be my story. I have computer work I need to do, and I'm going to do it. But I can do better. So as I've been thinking about this and thinking about what needs to be true first and coming to the realization that this goal could forever change Carson and it could forever change me in ways that I may not even be expecting. It could change my marriage because if my time management skills improve, my husband's going to be a happy guy. It could change my relationship with time, my relationship with how I operate. There's so much in this goal. And so knowing, okay, if you've got a goal of expanding your garden this season, what has to be true first? You're going to have some money, right? Don't you love the big goals we set like that? And then who's paying for that? Like nobody knows, right? I've done that so many times. So many times. I will spend days on Pinterest. I will spend days on Instagram searching things. And then it comes down to it, and I'm like, I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this. Look, last year I wanted to put a pond in the backyard and get some Indian runner ducks. And my husband was like, no. But like I will spend all my time dreaming without ever figuring out what is going to take to get me there. So what has to be true first? For Sammy to expand her garden, Sean's got to write a check. He's happy to do it, and he did. But we have to know what has to be true first. Right? And we have to be real with ourselves because some seasons are better than others for those kinds of goals. I want you to stew on that this week. This week, we are concreting in these goals. So I want you to focus on that. I want you to really ask yourself the hard questions. What are the obstacles? I'm going to ask you this tomorrow. What are the obstacles that are getting in your way? What do you need to make sure is first before any of this is ever going to come. And I think that if we do that, there will be so many more blessings outside of the goal that we can't see yet. We don't know about yet. We're not figuring on, right? And then it's even more amazing. So Carla said, make the pond. I'll come help you. I've built two. I am strongly considering it. He said he would look at it once it cools off some. But I might call you, Carla. I want my season to be the most meaningful season ever. I want my garden to be my most meaningful garden ever. I have some work to do, mostly on myself. But I am all too happy to do it. And I know that you will be too. So we are going to finish up our garden goals this week, and then we are going to start building the soil that we know is the foundation to get us there. And then once we have our soil built, we can start our seeds. Maybe gamble a little. And then once we have our seeds started, we can move on to where those seeds are going. We'll have our planting session. We'll harvest everything that's coming out of the garden. We'll preserve it with Jenna. And then, guys, we'll be ready to plant this fall garden. I can't wait. Angel says she's been wanting to do a koi pond since she came back from Japan. Angel, your pictures were so amazing. Carla says I'm going to put a picture in the Facebook group. Please, Carla, please. I got in a Facebook group called Ponds and something, but it looks like a lot. Please do, Carla. I hope that you feel inspired. I hope that you feel so ready for this season. Our challenge this month is the Garden Goal Challenge. This is the month that we are going to set our goals. We're going to concrete them in, set them in stone, and then we are going to let them boss us around all season long. So I'm going to put the challenge in the Facebook group this afternoon. Be looking for it. And I am going to ask you questions all week long about your goal because we have to get this narrowed down. We have to know where we're going because, listen, we're about to go. I hope you're as excited as I am. I love you, ladies. I am so glad to always get to meet with you. Any chance I get is always such a blessing. Hope you have a great day. Hope you gift yourself some time to dream today. I hope to do that too.